trying to play this like, well, the thing got squashed and the source was never revealed, and look how ignore the fact that it's actually her husband who's doing all this with a power trip.
But she didn't care about the evidence. The evidence didn't matter to her.
What happens when Hollywood's sweetheart is caught in a web of lies? Blake Lively's courtroom panic is sending shockwaves through the industry as explosive evidence surfaces. What are the claims, and are they enough to shatter her public image for good? Stick around. It's worse than you think.
Apparently, this is all Ryan's idea. He's the one who pushed to fight back, as now Yahoo's reporting, fighting back against Candace and Perez. I just find it so funny they didn't mention me, but I'm the only one who actually has a history with Ryan. It's just what's so funny about all this, Nate, is no one considers us to be journalists. Meanwhile, the people reporting on it are dumb as bricks who do zero research, have zero intel. I've literally worked with Ryan. If anybody did any more homework, they'd know, oh, he would have even more of a beat.
Blake Lively has always been Hollywood's golden girl. But is that sparkling reputation just smoke and mirrors? For years, she's been celebrated not only for her on-screen talent, but for how she's mastered the art of public perception. Relatable interviews, a picture-perfect marriage to Ryan Reynolds, and her ability to mix glamour with a down-to-earth charm made her a fan favorite. From the outside, everything about her life seemed flawless, almost annoyingly so. Audiences bought into her image of authenticity because, well, she sold it perfectly. But now, we're seeing cracks that make you question how much of her public persona was real to begin with. Take any of her countless interviews, for example. She often leans into the role of the quirky, relatable everywoman, a cool mom who juggles family and career with effortlessness. Fans would latch onto her jokes about parenting fails or her playful banter with Ryan, which always went viral on social media. The narrative she spun, that she's just like the rest of us, only in designer heels, was comforting, even aspirational. Her red carpet appearances only reinforced this perception. Even while dripping in couture, she came off as approachable. And her marriage to Reynolds? It's practically become an entire brand of its own, so ridiculously perfect that even skeptics sometimes rolled their eyes. But secretly, they hoped it was real. Yet suddenly, that perfect foundation is starting to look unstable. This court case is taking her carefully built image and flipping it upside down. The allegations of lies and strategic delays might just expose an entirely different side of Blake, one that her fans never expected, and might not forgive. She's being accused of legal stunts that are designed not just to protect her, but to drag out the process and keep her from facing the questions that could unravel her reputation. The public's trust in her, which she's spent years building, could be slipping through her fingers. It's hard not to think back on a moment from just a couple of years ago that really defined Blake's charm. Remember when she helped pay off overdue library fines for struggling families in her hometown? She made it look effortless, even fun, as if she were doing it purely for the joy of helping others. It was one of those PR moments that felt genuine, and fans ate it up. But now, with these courtroom dramas boiling over, that memory feels tainted. Was it all just part of the strategy to stay on everyone's good side? The truth is, we idolize celebrities because they seem larger than life. But when that fantasy collides with ugly reality, it's a hard pill to swallow. And right now, the courtroom revelations stand in such stark contrast to Blake's persona, it's almost impossible not to feel betrayed. The evidence we're about to uncover may be the tipping point, the moment her carefully constructed image begins to crumble under its own weight. But the first crack, it's already here. Just wait until you hear the details from the first bombshell in court documents. You won't believe what Blake's legal team tried to pull.
Same thing she was actually doing. A lot of people had no clue about the case. She made it clear she didn't watch the case. She kind of just jumps in and does this online to sort of go after YouTubers, use their names for clicks, and then go rage bait everybody in it and sort of get these little niche groups to get pissed and really get the traffic in. And then that's how she succeeds, because her articles would otherwise get no clicks, but she gets hate clicks through all this nonsense. Yeah. And so I exposed her. I released the whole audio, and then she claimed it was edited, which it wasn't. That's defamatory. You know it wasn't edited, Kat. And then she wrote a hit piece about me, Nate. She spent months. She spent months writing this hit piece. And oh my God, like I do want to find it quick because it was I had Chris Melcher on and like just laugh at how defamatory and ridiculous it was that NBC News even did this. I heard they went after, tried to get everybody on the record, and the only people they could get were literal psychopaths, like the worst of the worst, who like hate me so much. Like not a single neutral source, only the worst of the worst who like troll me. They literally got like my anonymous trolls, and like he was canceled during the Me Too. Now he's using YouTube to attack celebrity accusers. This article was a laughing stock. It was awful. But anyway, she did this because I went after her and I exposed her.
Yeah.
Anyway, I give you all this backstory because I want you to be prepared. Like, don't take the bait. Don't do it. That's what she wants you to do. She now wants all the Justin Baldoni people to go after her. She calls out Chersty in this, and Chersty took the bait and wrote a big thing. And I messaged her. I'm like, say your piece, but don't keep engaging because that's all. This is what she banks on. Now she's in the New York Times. This is the New York Times opinion guest essay, Nate. The same rag that got the intel before everybody else without giving Justin his fair share. And now they're pulling in cat 10 bucks.
What happens when a Hollywood A-lister leans on a claim so absurd, it practically implodes on itself? In Blake Lively's case, her attempt to avoid testifying took courtroom drama to a whole new level when her legal team introduced one of the most bizarre excuses to date. According to court filings, her lawyers argued they couldn't proceed with her deposition because they needed time to review. Wait for it. 50,000 hours of film footage from her recent project. Yes, 50,000. That's more than 5.5 straight years of non-stop viewing. You don't need to be a mathematician to see how impossible this claim is. Here's what actually happened. The film in question, It Ends With Us, had a manageable shooting schedule that spanned just 37 days. Production wrapped in under 2 months, and Blake herself was only on set for 32 of those days. The total footage available to review? Less than 150 hours. Yet somehow, her legal team stood by the outrageous 50,000-hour figure, expecting the court and the public to believe it. Predictably, the number didn't hold up under scrutiny, and the court filings tore it apart. One source called it what it really was, a blatant lie. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that label. The ridiculousness doesn't stop there. Not only were the math and logistics completely off, but the entire premise of the claim came under fire. One court observer even questioned why Lively's team needed to review the footage at all. After all, she was there for the filming. She starred in it. She lived through the scenes. As the source put it plainly, why do you need film footage to remind you of what happened? You were there. You made the accusations. It's in your lawsuit. That blunt observation cuts right to the heart of why this entire excuse seemed more like a distraction tactic than a genuine need. To make things worse, the fallout from this claim didn't just reflect poorly on Lively's legal strategy. It raised questions about her own credibility. If her team was willing to present such a wildly inflated number to stall her testimony, what else might they be hiding? This wasn't a simple misstep or accidental error. It looks like a calculated move designed to buy time, maybe even enough time to reshape their entire defense. But as they scrambled to defend it, the sheer impossibility of the claim made their intentions painfully obvious. For Blake Lively, who's built her career on a pristine public image, this kind of misrepresentation does more than delay a court date. It chips away at the trust she's carefully cultivated. And if this was just their opening defense, it's hard to imagine what other revelations could be brewing. Justin Baldoni's attorney seems ready to uncover exactly that. And from everything we've seen so far, the truth could be even more damaging than this failed strategy. What does he know that's making Lively's team so desperate? Stay tuned.
She didn't care about the evidence. The evidence didn't matter to her. She didn't care about anything that she heard in the media or during the trial. She just knew Johnny Depp was an abuser, and there was nothing that was going to change her mind. And that was the issue that we were all having with her, was like, well, hold on. There's clear evidence that she's lying. Matter of fact, she literally changed her testimony on the stand. Day one, she said something. She came back and said something completely different. And you know what she said? Amber Heard, I'm talking about. She said, oh, I misremembered when I told you guys I would never forget it. Oh, I actually misremembered, forgot it, and now I got to tell you a totally different story. Like things like that, we were supposed to believe. We were supposed to believe that when Amber Heard said, I donated the money, and she kept it for herself, that actually meant she donated the money. Like,
donated.
All of these
Not
things.
pledged.
So
donated.
When Kat Timbarge, when we and her were having our little Twitter beef, the issue kept coming up. It's like, why is every man presumptively guilty? Why can't we evaluate the evidence? Why can't we say, well, this doesn't make sense in this context? And her response essentially was that women have been going through this for hundreds of millions of years, and now we should just believe them, even if they are lying, even if we know definitively the woman is lying, we should still believe her. And I don't accept that premise. I believe that we believe facts and evidence. So right now, I think she's trying to make a comeback with the whole, now it's Justin Baldoni. But the issue is that when you look at the facts and evidence that come out about this case, it seems to be the same thing. Blake Lively, unfortunately, everybody would have to be wrong. Taylor Swift would have to be wrong. All the staff and crew would have to be wrong, right? There are like a few people who are on her side, but the vast majority of everybody's saying none of this stuff happened. This is all wrong. But Kat Timbarge sees that and says, you should.
Justin Baldoni's attorney, Ryan Friedman, is bringing a level of precision and strategy that could put Blake Lively's entire defense under the microscope. With a reputation for cutting through the noise, Friedman has made it clear he intends to examine every inch of her testimony. And he's doing it under penalty of perjury, a legal weight that makes any inconsistencies not just embarrassing, but dangerous. What's his secret weapon? A combination of video footage, text messages, and emails, all of which he claims will reveal that Lively's statements don't align with the facts. Friedman hasn't held back about his intentions. Speaking to TMZ, he said, "I'm going to ask her questions on her penalty of perjury. She's going to have to provide evidence, and she's going to have to provide the truth of the stories. We all have the videotape, all the footage. We have, the text messages. We have the emails. We're going to see how consistent her testimony is with the actual facts of what transpired." His confidence stands in stark contrast to the scrambling and delays seen from Lively's legal team. You have to wonder, what's already on those tapes and messages that has them so desperate to keep things under wraps? And this isn't just about courtroom posturing. The stakes for Lively couldn't be higher. Under legal oath, if she provides testimony that doesn't match the evidence Friedman presents, the consequences could go far beyond bad press. Perjury isn't just a PR nightmare, it's a crime. According to sources close to the case, Friedman's strategy is all about pushing Lively into a corner where the truth becomes unavoidable. If he uncovers even the smallest contradictions, it could unravel her entire narrative. What makes this case even messier is its growing reach. Lively's team has reportedly issued subpoenas to several third parties, including content creators, in a frantic attempt to control the damage. Some of these subpoenas, insiders claim, seem designed to uncover potential efforts at shaping public opinion. Whether this means reaching out to influencers or even planting narratives remains under speculation, but it's clear that the efforts go far beyond the courtroom. One source hinted that this broader strategy might be about finding out how much Friedman already knows, because he isn't just targeting Blake's testimony. He's going after the entire narrative surrounding the case. And that brings us back to the bigger question: what's out there that hasn't hit the surface yet? Friedman's confidence suggests there are still revelations waiting to be unveiled, ones that could make this case even more explosive than what we've already seen. From the footage and message evidence to the subpoenas targeting outside voices, it's clear this isn't about one star's word against another's anymore. The growing pile of documents tells a different story, one of a star scrambling to control the chaos. If anything, it paints a picture of someone less concerned with the truth and more worried about keeping up appearances. And with each new move from Friedman, it feels like those appearances are closer to crumbling. But where does Ryan Reynolds fit into all this? His absence might be louder than any words.
Well, what's the example? Well, recent example is the affidavit by Friedman wrote that they received a phone call on Valentine's Day from a person closely linked to Taylor Swift. He claimed Lively and basically Taylor Swift's lawyer Blake asked Taylor Swift to post something or else. That was what we heard, right? And that was a pretty damning thing. Suddenly, the sources came out as to it was Taylor Swift's father. Now, they weren't able to present that then. Now, to be fair, I'm still waiting for that to get confirmed. But, she's trying to play this like, well, the thing got squashed and the source was never revealed. And look how many outlets reported, and this is not fair. It's like, girl, I thought you were a pop culture reporter. Taylor Swift could have ended this months ago. Travis Kelce, unfollowed Ryan effing Reynolds. You're telling me there's no smoke here? That there's actually something wrong? It is clear to me as day Taylor Swift is upset with Blake Lively. It is clear today that her parents are very protective and don't like Blake Lively out there dragging her daughter into all of this. So this whole implication, this is crazy, and that we went off on a whole thing to drag Taylor in because we're misogynist and Blake because we're misogynist. It just shows you how terrible of a reporter she is. And you're right. Thank God they put it as an opinion, as a guest essay. Do you think I could get one of these now, Nate? Can I do a follow-up? I want to write an opinion guest essay for the New York Times. Maybe we should team up. Maybe together. I want to write an opinion. Guys, how do we get to the New York Times? I thought they liked diverse voices. Let's hear the other side of this. Oh, man, that'd be amazing. But anyway, what a ridiculous thing.
Before you go, remember the source that she had from Twitter?
Oh my God!
The source, and then we found out the source is like a fire.
The child that she was using that she didn't even vet as a real person, and was using her as her proof. Oh my God! Yeah, I literally there was so much I've forgotten it. She was literally using this like a ghost account, anonymous troll who was allegedly admitted. Now I don't even know who it was, but they admitted to me that they were a minor. And that's who Captain Barge was using as a freaking source.
Yeah, like, oh, this person has so much knowledge. This person is so, but I was like, this person's shouldn't even be on Twitter. It got to that level.
Who the source is. You're just believing some ghost account on Twitter was how Captain Barge got her information. No wonder she got fired by NBC News, and her whole department was found redundant. And now, what does she got to do to be relevant? Now she's got to be like every other independent person. And now she's trying to build it up, and she's using Justin, Blake, and now the misogyny to outrage Kirsty and everybody else to attempt to get the attention. I should have taken the bait. To be honest, we shouldn't have taken the bait. But I only want to take this bait to warn you all, no more. Don't take it again. Be prepared. You can go look up any Cat 10 Barge video on Popcorn Planet. They're all still there. They were not edited, Cat. Nothing I did was edited. You absolute defamatory liar. You fired disgrace. I'm not. I fought hard, and I'm proud of what we did against her. And her piece is a joke. It was an absolute joke. So be prepared, be ready. But also beyond even just that whole nothing burger of her, just the fact that now the New York Times is back to this playbook, just to me looks so bad. Like they already were so caught sort of crapping on Justin, not giving him the time that they promised alone is a reason to be like, look shady. But now they're getting guest essays from complete hacks to play up the misogyny card. That just shows you how...
Why wasn't Ryan Reynolds by Blake Lively's side during one of the most stressful moments of her legal battle? According to reports, Blake's legal team specifically advised Reynolds to stay far away from her deposition. Their reasoning? His star power and undeniable presence would have been a distraction. This supposedly wasn't just about keeping the courtroom focused. It was about controlling the optics. Blake's team reportedly wanted to ensure the focus remained squarely on the legal arguments at hand, not on the Hollywood husband sitting in the room. But is that all there is to it, or does this decision hint at something deeper? Some sources suggest that Reynolds himself grew frustrated over being sidelined. Imagine being one half of a so-called power couple, yet being told to stay out of the proceedings during a moment this critical. One insider claims Blake agreed with the strategy, albeit reluctantly. It wasn't an easy decision, reflecting just how serious this case really is. Not a typical Hollywood headline, but something with real consequences. And while Reynolds complied with the advice, there's speculation that he's keeping a very close eye on what's happening behind the scenes. According to reports, he has access to transcripts and even video recordings of Blake's deposition, watching every detail, perhaps silently evaluating the situation. But his quiet involvement only raises more questions. While his absence may have been strategic, many can't help but wonder if it signals something more personal. After all, for years these two have leaned hard into their brand as the Hollywood couple, united, flawless, and endlessly supportive. And yet, when Blake faced one of her most public challenges, he was physically nowhere to be found. The irony is impossible to miss. This is supposed to be the duo that laughs at life's chaos together, making it all look easy. Now, instead of a united front, Blake faces the fire alone. Could this absence signal cracks beneath the surface? Meanwhile, the gossip mills have been working overtime. Video host Andy Signar labeled Reynolds' absence as shocking, noting that even Blake's legal team wanted no part of his involvement in the deposition. But think about it. How would his presence have played out? Would his larger-than-life personality have helped rally public sympathy, or would it have shifted focus entirely away from the case? Either outcome might have posed risks that Blake and her team weren't willing to take. Yet, the optics of him staying away carry their own weight. It doesn't take much for people to start speculating. Is this legal advice? Or is Reynolds quietly stepping back altogether? The decision to sideline him now looms over the case, not because it came out of nowhere, but because of what it might say about their dynamics privately. With Reynolds staying away to avoid distractions, many are left asking if that silence is just good strategy, or if it speaks volumes about how he really feels. Either way, it changes the narrative. But the wildest twist is yet to come. Shady tactics and a fake company might reveal how far Blake's team was ready to go. How far is too far when it comes to winning a legal case? In this shocking twist, Blake Lively's team allegedly orchestrated one of the most ethically questionable tactics yet, and it involves creating a fake company. According to court filings, this so-called ghost company, known as Vanzam, was supposedly established to get its hands on private phone records. And not just any records. They wanted access to the phone of Jennifer Abel, a person allegedly holding incriminating text messages that could unravel everything. Here's how it all went down. The Vanzam ploy was flagged during legal proceedings when Abel challenged the legitimacy of the company involved. Turns out, Abel wasn't backing down. She requested specific documents to prove the allegations against Lively's team. Shockingly, the court took her concerns seriously. The presiding judge ruled in Abel's favor, granting a motion to compel the documents tied to Vanzam. In legal terms, that means Abel is now allowed to dig through related files and conduct discovery to build her case. This decision changed the momentum of the whole case. The judge had a definitive take on the situation, stating, "The motion to compel is granted as to request 9. For Blake's camp, that was not the outcome they wanted. But the implications go deeper than just one ruling. What we're looking at here is more than just a minor hiccup in legal strategy. The use of a ghost corporation raises serious ethical alarm bells. Lively has a lot riding on her credibility, and the optics of something this suspicious could not be worse. If Abel's claims hold up and this fake company was in fact used to circumvent proper legal routes, it makes Lively's entire defense look desperate instead of calculated. And let's be honest, why create a sham corporation to dig into someone's private data unless you're hiding something big? And we need to talk about the phone records they were so eager to obtain. The phone supposedly contains texts that could disprove key parts of Blake's statements. While we haven't seen the messages yet, the mere fact that her team went to such lengths to access them almost feels like an admission of how damaging they might be. Instead of addressing the case head-on, they pursued a backdoor path that now risks exposing even more of Blake's blind spots. What does this say about her team's priorities? If they're resorting to such extreme measures, it only raises more questions about what else could be lurking beneath the surface. Is this the end of their questionable tactics or just the beginning? For Blake, this could be the most damaging development yet. After all, if a fake company isn't above the board, what is? And how does this reshape everything we thought we knew about Hollywood's Golden Girl? Blake Lively's courtroom battle has done more than just expose legal missteps. It's shattered the illusion of perfection she spent years maintaining. The outrageous claims, the delays, the alleged ghost company, all of it points to a pattern of desperation over transparency. What does this mean for her Hollywood Golden Girl status? The trust she carefully built with fans is slipping fast, and this case could leave a permanent stain. But what comes next could be even bigger. Do you think Blake can recover from this, or is her reputation beyond repair? Share your thoughts below, and don't miss the next major update.